That's what happened in 1776, and we're trying to have a cultural revolution of liberty. The system is set up for a physical confrontation, and we probably win that one as well. It's just that we're trying everything we can to try to fix this peacefully. Do you have any other comments?
Well, the other thing I'll leave you with is I heard you quote Aldous Huxley, so I figured I'd go and read one of his books. Actually, I listened to an interview on BBC in which he said that he could see a time in which people love their servitude. I think we're there.
Well, sure. We've played the clips of Huxley explaining that they were going to build this world. He wrote Brave New World in 1932, and you read it today, and it's actually coming true. Well, he said, this is our plan. He was part of a British government breeding program that was never classified with the 5 other families. Most of his siblings and people died. They were his brother went on to run the UN. I mean, these people, it's just so incredible. Thank you, Kevin. Hagmann and Hagmann, I'm going to skip this network break and go right to the bottom of the hour with you guys. I want to go to Chris and others that are holding, but at the bottom of the rabbit hole from your research, what's there?
What's there is the ultimate objective, of course, Alex, is the very simply a one world order, a one world financial system, one world religion, and a one world economic system. End of story. And that's what's at the as far as our research is concerned, that's what the end game objective is. And we've got to think bigger. Everyone has got to think bigger. The attack yesterday at the synagogue in Jerusalem, that's part and parcel to this in many respects. What's going on domestically and will be in Ferguson, part and parcel to it. The taking down of the U.S. dollar. None of this is happening by accident.
What about the attack on the Parliament in Ottawa? That guy looked like a total cutout as well. Again, we're not saying terrorism isn't real. The globalists are letting these people attack, and we shouldn't give our freedoms up because somebody goes and does that.
No, not at all. Not at all.
No, absolutely. And, you know, I think at the basis, I'm a Christian, and everything has been explained in the Bible, the attributes of the people, the falling away, as one of the last callers pointed out, you know, it is it's our responsibility as citizens of
humans.
Right. And as humans.
Well, you said it, at the bottom of the rat hole is Satan.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's good versus evil. And it is you know, we see they're bringing out the animal nature or human nature of man rather than uplifting them to the spirit, leading them and pointing them to the spiritual nature, which is what we are all able to be. Right. But they're pulling us down to basic animal instinct through our own human nature.
Well said. That is exactly what is at the bottom of the rabbit hole, is a spirit, a system, whether you believe in spirits or not, a manifestation through human interaction, through archetypes, if you will, that wants to kill, steal, and destroy and dumb people down so it can control them. It's the ultimate form of selfishness, and it's truly disgusting. Chris in South Carolina, you're on the air. Welcome.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you for taking my call. I've been thinking about Ferguson, and I've also been thinking about how this all plays into a bigger thing. I believe Ferguson in itself is nothing more. You've often said that these guys are scientists that do scientific experiments. They're using this to understand how a martial law will work on a larger scale.
And to condition us that the martial law comes and goes and returns and maintains order, so we will accept the rollout of the International Stabilization Force that is in the RAND Corporation document. This is all planned.
And that goes along with the amnesty thing, because, see, the amnesty thing and the healthcare thing go together because they're all linked back to the UN. And if the only way to get us to accept it is to bring in a martial law. And because we're already in it, but to get us to accept it...
That's right.
You see what I'm saying?
Well, it's the Henry Kissinger quote to the CFR. And it was a Trilateral Commission meeting, but they put it in the CFR Foreign Affairs publication back in '91. He said, look, Americans would never accept UN troops in Los Angeles unless there was the right crisis. But once there is the right crisis, they would accept it. I mean, you can search a stability police force for the United States that they first put out back in the 90s, and then James Jones, the head of the Security Council a few years ago, put it out again with an update. I mean, it's checkpoints on every corner. It's secret police. It's people being disappeared. I mean, it's East Germany on PCP and steroids. And they're just rolling this baby out. And the average cop's as good as pumpkin pie. On average. I mean, I'll be honest. There are a lot of bad cops out there. It's like they're bad people, but it doesn't matter because they're putting in the system where the nice cop doesn't know. They just say pick you up. They bring you to the place where you get put in a black van and taken away, and then it's kind of like we don't know. They go away in a black van, folks. We're here. That's what this Ebola cover-up is about. They are just simulating and testing and probing and going, hey. Infraguard. Preachers are here to tell you to go to the camp when you're told. I told people about that 4 years before it was in the news. Then it was in local news. I mean, they're really probing. Great points, Chris. Anything else?
Yes. One more thing. You know how they have referred to the Ebola virus as the zombie virus? If you just type in ZMAT, what comes up is Zombie Military Attack Team. Why would they name that? And then I started thinking about some other stuff when you said how it changes the DNA. And so I did a cross-reference because I had seen something with something called Funvax and ZMAT2. And there is a cross-connection. I went and got documents. I was going to send them to you, and all of a sudden my computer went down.
Crazy. Well, let me just say this. We first reported this about 5 years ago. People didn't believe us, but a year later it started coming out. Marines and Army were training to mow down looters and mow down masses of starving people in America. The troops freaked out about it, so they said, oh, they're zombies now. And so that's how they cover the troops training to mow down American citizens. See, it's all psyops. It's all psychological warfare. Thank you. Guys, you want to comment on the zombie kill training going on all over the world right now from Japan to the U.S.?
Well, absolutely. You know, and the word zombie, people think in their mind, you know, some kind of half dead, half alive human, you know, mindless person. Well, it is not referring to that, some type of mutated person.
They're dehumanizing you like Hitler would say Jews were rats or Jews were vampires. They're dehumanizing everybody. Go ahead.
Yeah, and because of this materialistic mentality in society we have, people have been hollowed out inside because they have been too consumed with the tangible things of the world that they can, you know, get their hands on and want. And when they refer to zombies, they're talking about when everything breaks down, the millions of mindless Americans.
That's right.
Not know where to look.
And they're telling you you're a zombie. They're dehumanizing you. They're preparing you, but they know within about 7 days, most people will steal. Within 10 days, most people will kill for food. Within 15, 98% of people in Pentagon studies, you can look up the study, will cannibalize. 98%. And I got to be honest, if my kids are starving and somebody's already dead, I'm going to probably start cooking. If I think I can get through it. And if you think you're going to get through the emergency, you will end up eating people. And this is all I know is they're doing the training, and it's insane. We just showed the news article on screen. I mean, you cannot. I say this stuff, and used to folks didn't know how to search engine something quick, so they thought I was nuts. Now they can look it up. I mean, it is just crazy. Let's go to Sledgehammer in Utah. Sledgehammer, you're on the air.
Oh. Yes, Alex, hello.
Welcome, brother.
I was wondering what everybody's opinion is of ISIS and what they're waiting for. They didn't strike on 9/11. Are they going to try to blemish our holidays with terrorist attacks? And are they going to try to hijack the Ferguson protests and expound on that?
Well, there are Muslim radical sleeper cells all over the country. They've been brought in on purpose by criminals in our government because when they attack, they'll be rock stars in their country. Their families will get paid off by the Saudi Arabian demon government. And then we will have our rights taken by the very system. And the cops will think they're taking our rights to protect us when ISIS is openly run by the New World Order. The difference is we're decompartmentalizing the police and others, and they're waking up. I mean, they're waking up big time. I appreciate your call. We're going to move quick, Sledgehammer. Doug, what's your take on what I just said?
100%, Alex. But ISIS is a creation of Western intelligence, of American CIA, British intelligence services, as well as France Qatari, Saudi Arabia. And the objective here with ISIS, look, when you've got the Council on American Islamic Relations infusing themselves into the protests in Ferguson, that is a microcosm of ISIS, what they're doing on a world level. Okay, so they're being managed. ISIS is being managed. Our military essentially gave the keys to the Toyota Tundras parked over there in the Middle East to ISIS. We created ISIS. We funded ISIS. We are still doing it, and they are here in America. That's not to scare anyone, but that's just to alert people to say, look.
The sky's the limit. The sky's the limit.
Yeah, they just repackaged they wanted to bomb Syria a year ago. They couldn't do it. They repackaged it so there was a perceived threat, and now they have the green light.
Yeah. All right, gentlemen, let's take a couple more calls. Joseph in Colorado, thanks for calling. You're on the air. I'm glad you brought up the UN treaty.
Yes, Alex, thanks for having me on. I was listening to you and another gentleman, I forget his name, I think it was last week, and you were talking about something about December 24th, about America signing the UN treaty or something.
Yeah, Obama, well, I mean, the UN says it goes into effect then. Obama says he will implement regardless of Congress. The Senate has threatened him basically with impeachment if he tries it. The problem is they never live up to that. So, yes, they're officially going to try to implement it next year.
Now, do you think it's actually going to go through, or?
They don't care. It doesn't have to pass Congress, according to Obama. See, that's the whole point. He says he'll take your guns because he feels like it. He'll put our troops under UN control because he feels like it. He'll fund ISIS because he feels like it. He will open the borders because he feels like it. There's the headline. Merry Christmas. UN declares arms trade treaty to go into effect December 24th. And that's out of a New American Magazine from Joe Wolverton. We should get Joe Wolverton on this week. Go ahead.
Yeah, what I think's going to happen though for 2015, I think they're using the Ebola. Basically, I think they're really going to try to put people in the FEMA camps and everything starting 2015. I think they're going to declare martial law because of the Ebola, and I think we're just going to lose all our rights really soon.
Well, they're certainly already taking them all, but there is a big awakening to respond to it. So for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. I'll have to get to Motorhead, Danny Kelly, and Carl and others after we talk to our reporters, Jakari Jackson and Joe Biggs in Ferguson. We're going to get the latest intel on what they've discovered. They're out there freezing their butts off. And then we'll finish up with your calls and some other news that's been breaking at Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. But tomorrow in Vegas, Obama, to make a statement on immigration Thursday night, they say to announce his executive orders. We'll see what happens. He said no troops to fight ISIS, and then he's sending them probably to actually put their shoes on for him. Hagmann and Hagmann, thank you so much for the time, gentlemen.
Thank you, sir. God bless.
All right, we need to get you back more often, every month or so, and get you guys on the nightly news, too. Hagmann and Hagmann.com, really great guys. Great research. Thank you, gentlemen. All right, Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.tv are our sites. We'll be right back with our reporters on the ground in Ferguson, awaiting the verdict in the freezing witch cold. Stay with us. Okay, freezing their butts off in Ferguson, Missouri, are Jakari Jackson and Joe Biggs. And Joe Biggs is in front of the camera right now to give us his intel on where they're massing the police, what the preparations are, what the sources he's already ferreted in the courthouse are saying. Joe and Jakari are great at getting intel. They've been filing reports for the nightly news as well. And you better believe they're staying up there until this verdict comes in. I know Jakari's going to come back and take care of his dog in a couple days, so we'll send somebody to relieve him, but I know he wants to be there when the verdict comes out. But our great reporter's up there in Ferguson, and so go ahead first, Joe Biggs. What have you learned since we talked 24 hours ago here on the syndicated transmission?
Joe Biggs, Infowars.com. Right now I'm standing outside of the Justice Center in Clayton. Now, so far what I've heard is today the grand jury is supposed to convene, and tomorrow as well. We know that the police buildup has definitely, been larger over the past few days. The larger mainstream media news areas like CNN, CBS, Dateline, all that, they are here now set up waiting on the grand jury decision. So it seems like everyone's starting to get hyped up. The buildup is getting here. We were in Ferguson earlier on the streets of West Florissant, talking to some people as well. Everyone's starting to brace themselves for the verdict thus far.
Also, you guys were first reporting on a local report. It was later confirmed about them getting the guy fired because he showed DHS vehicles massing. I know you went and investigated some other areas where sources told you they were building up. What did you find?